Greetings and welcome to Teaching Tips and Thoughts. In this video, I am going to talk a little bit about how I handle assignment extensions within my classes. So let's go ahead and let me show a little bit about what I do here. And first of all, when do I give extensions? Well, there's a couple of different situations where I do give extensions, and there are two cases where I do automatic extensions. That would be a documented medical reason, whether for the student or a close family member. And all I ask them there is just a doctor's note saying how long they should be excused from work or school, so that I can make adjustments to the schedule based on that. The other that I do is accommodations that are approved by Student Access Services here at the college. So if they have an accommodation approved that gives them an extension if they need it, then that is the other thing. So those, there's no questions about those, are automatically done. I tend to discourage any other reasons for extensions, just because there's so many, and you end up getting the students who will keep asking for extensions week after week after week. And while I know a lot of students are of course going through a lot at different times, it's just I can't keep extending things and try to keep the class organized. So I do a couple of things to try to take this into account so that students don't have the need to ask for extensions except in extreme cases. So for example, I give a one-time 48-hour extension on any assignment in there. There's no questions asked. And I'll show this in a minute here. And the only things it does not apply to are discussions, because of the way discussions are set up within Brightspace. There's no way to reopen a discussion for just one student. So I let them know that does not apply for discussions, and it does not apply for the final exam, because I usually run my final exam up to the end of the grading time, and that just does not allow me to give any extensions without the student getting an incomplete. Also, for like shorter classes, in cases if I do a shorter part of term class, then a 6-week or an 8-week or a 4-week class that I do, there would be other assignments that final exam week. They would also be removed from being able to use this 48-hour extension. So let's take a quick look at that first, and then we'll come back and look at the other things I want to talk about here. So for the 48-hour extension, if we go into my class and take a look at this, is what the student will have in each lesson is under assignments. There is a 48-hour extension. So you see that right there. And that is the first thing under assignments that the student will see every single time. When they click on it, it will show them the quiz that they need to take to request this extension. So I give them the instructions here that says it can be used only one time during the semester, and it will remove the late penalty as long as they submit it within 48 hours of when it was originally due. I do remind them that it doesn't apply for discussions or other assignments given the final week of class. And all they need to do in order to take this is to take the quiz. The quiz has one question on it. It just says, tell me the name of the assignment you're requesting your extension on. And the student just has to submit that. I grade it, and they automatically get the extension. Now, if you'll see, this does have a condition on it here, because what I don't want the student to do is to keep seeing it once they've requested their extension. So it has conditions up here, and the condition that I use is that it's visible as long as they have not received a grade for it. So once they receive a grade for this on the assignment, they no longer meet this condition, and therefore they will not see the 48-hour extension for the remainder of the semester. So that way they don't keep seeing it and think they can still use it even though they've already taken that quiz. They don't have to keep going back and seeing that every single time. So that's all they have to do for their 48-hour extension. There's nothing else that is required there. Now let's go back and look at the other things that I do, because that's only on one assignment. And of course, students can have more issues than just one time needing a 48-hour extension. So I make adjustments for late assignments. I give partial credit on every assignment, again, except for discussions and the final exam. Those are the two that I exclude from this, that they have 1 week after the due date to be able to submit them for partial credit. Currently, I'm running those deductions from 5%, which is 5% for just 1 hour late. So if they were just running very briefly late and didn't quite get it in on time, then they only lose 5%. If they go almost to the end of the next week, then they lose 50% of the credit that was available for the assignment. So there are a couple other steps in between of 10 and 25%. So pretty much if they wait until the following weekend, it's almost not worth doing it for the assignment. So because if they didn't do well on the assignment and they're still going to lose half the points that the assignment was worth, it's really not going to be worth it to them. But for those students who need an extra day or two, a minimal 10% deduction still encourages them to be able to go get that work done. And they have those 2 extra days to do it with just 10%. So 10% on, say, a 50-point assignment, they're just losing 5 points. They can still do very well on the assignment, even if they needed that. And they don't need to document anything for this. They just go ahead and submit the assignment late. It is automatically deducted. The only time it wouldn't be is if they've used their 48-hour extension that I provide. So that concludes this discussion on how I handle some late assignments and assignment extensions within my classes. I'll be back again next time to discuss another teaching tip and thought. So until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you next time.